I'm Sydney from PhoneDog.com, and this is the Motorola Charm from T-Mobile. It's a smartphone that's meant primarily to be a messaging phone, if that makes any sense. I think the best way to describe it would be the way that Noah, our editor-in-chief, described it, which was as a smart messaging phone. So I've been testing it for about a week now, and I'm going to give you guys a full review, but basically my summary of the phone, or my take on it, is that this is what messaging phones should be. These features and these capabilities, this is what messaging phones should be. As a smartphone, I don't really think it really lives up to smartphone standards, but if it were a messaging phone, it would be awesome, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Hopefully when we get onto the review, I'll be able to explain myself much better, but for now, it is a smartphone from T-Mobile. You can get it right now for $79.99 on contract, and it comes in 2 colors. So, T-Mobile, Motorola Charm, I'm Sydney from PhoneDog.com. Let's go check it out. Okay, so we'll start off with just a basic hardware tour. On the front here you have your 2.8-inch capacitive touchscreen display. It has a resolution of 320 by 240, so it's a QVGA display. And then you have your physical keyboard, 3 capacitive touch buttons. There's nothing on the right side. On the top you have a 3.5mm headphone jack, power lock and unlock button, your volume rocker button, and then the micro USB port. On the back is the 3-megapixel camera, backtrack pad, and then underneath here you have your battery. It's an 1170 milliamp hour battery, so it's right there. I got about normal use, basically what you would get out of any smartphone. It lasted about a day and a half with normal to heavy use. You do get pre-installed a 2 gig micro SD card, and it's expandable. It supports an up to a 32 gigabyte card, so you can add more memory if you need to. So going back to the screen here, it is kind of a smaller screen, 2.8 inches, and so it does restrict, the number of widgets that you can have on each screen. Also, I noticed, probably just because of the small screen size and also the resolution, the text is kind of pixelated. I don't know if you can tell by looking at it. If I go to the menu, you can see it's just not the best quality, which may not seem like a big deal, but if you're somewhere where you're reading a lot of text, you'll definitely notice it. It's just not as smooth as other screens on other smartphones. Even other mid-range smartphones. It's definitely not the best quality, and also color doesn't show up very well. It's kind of washed out, and the viewing angle is very small, very picky. Now moving on to Moto Blur, I won't give you a very detailed, in-depth look at Moto Blur, but just in case you haven't used it a lot, basically it's a UI that's meant for social networking, and so it has all kinds of custom widgets and custom apps. You'll see a couple. There is a Happenings widget where you can see updates from all of your friends, and you can select, you can have a customized list of your friends that you want to see updates from. And then there's a Messages widget where you can see your messages, any text messages, and this is all from either Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, and then you have Social Status, which is a widget where you can just update your social status, and that's pretty much it. And so there's just a lot of that, and it kind of gets, there's a lot of it, and so it's sort of in your face, like people say, and so that may be great for some people, but just be warned that Blur can be a little bit too much for some people. So moving on to the keyboard, it's a great keyboard. I think it's, probably one of the best that I've used. It has a great design. You can see the keys here are domed. Not a lot of separation, but it's definitely very easy to use. I'll go to messaging, and you also have a virtual keyboard. Even though it's not the best, if it's something that you choose to use, then it's there. I'm assuming that most people will use a physical keyboard, but there you can see the on-screen virtual keyboard. So let me type out a quick message. So you can see it's very, very easy to type on. I mean, from the minute I started using it, I could type just super fast. I didn't have a lot of problems. You have shortcut buttons for messages, pictures, Google search. Then you have here 4 navigation arrows. And so I think it's a great keyboard. Overall, it is probably one of the best features about the phone. And also, it just drives home again that what the phone is really made for is social media. You know, the screen is small, so web browsing isn't going to be the greatest. You know, it's doable, but it's not the greatest. You know, pictures, not the greatest, which I'll get into in a minute. But really, what the phone is made for is social media, for messaging. And so it does great as that. Now, moving on to the camera, I talked about pictures being not the greatest. It's a 3-megapixel camera, and it also has fixed focus as well as digital zoom. And I will say, you know, like I said previously, it's not the best, and I just had a problem with the colors being a little washed out. I have some pictures uploaded, and so I'll show those to you. You can see, you know, close-up shots were really kind of blurry, but also I had this weird effect where, I don't know, it's kind of metallic, or there's this weird tint on it. I'm not really sure how to explain it. And it happened on some pictures, and then on some pictures it didn't. And so I'm thinking maybe it's just a particular color that had that problem, but it's definitely strange. And so you'll see basically, you know, some of them are blurry, some of them aren't the best, some of them came out okay. So it's a good, you know, just general camera for taking quick pictures, but I wouldn't say it's the greatest. And I was, you know, testing it out because I'm thinking, okay, it's a social networking phone, so, you know, a lot of what we do as social networking isn't just messages, but really pictures. I mean, we upload pictures to Twitter, to Facebook, and so for a phone like this, I count the camera as being just as important as the keyboard, because I think camera and keyboard are 2 of the most important things to social networking. You may feel differently, but me, you know, coming from that point of view, I don't think the camera is very adequate, but it's okay. So moving on, you know, next to the camera you see the back trackpad, which is, you know, a great little novelty thing, I guess you could call it, novelty feature. And it works okay. You know, if you're into that feature, if you like that, then we'll go to the web browser here, and you can see you can use it for scrolling. And then if you double tap, you have kind of a pointer there for clicking on things. So you can click on that. So, you know, kind of a nice feature, and it works okay. I personally just don't use it a lot because, you know, I'd rather just scroll through. But it is there, and it works okay. So a couple of other, you know, just really quick features. It does support Wi-Fi. You can see it, I have it on Wi-Fi right now. Also supports Bluetooth. Moving on to call quality, Motorola has a great history of having, you know, really good call quality, and I noticed that it was great. I could understand the person on the other line. They could hear me just fine. It did get kind of uncomfortable. I'm not sure if it's just, you know, maybe the design or the size. It doesn't seem very out of the ordinary, but for some reason this part started hurting my ear, and that may just be me. You know, it may just be, you know, maybe the way I was holding it or something. But it did kind of start hurting after a while. But call quality itself was fine enough. So that's pretty much it, guys. It is the Motorola Charm from T-Mobile. You can get it right now for $79.99 on contract. And basically, I'm going to summarize it as the way I did in the intro. I think that, you know, as a smartphone, you know, I personally don't think it's up to smartphone standards, just because really the only thing that it can do very well is social networking, and I think that a smartphone should be more than that. I think this, as a messaging phone, if it were in that category and had these capabilities, I think it would be the best in that category. So it's kind of, you know, basically, you know, you may think, well, that's not a really big deal. Is it a good phone or not? Well, it's an okay phone. I just don't know if for the price and also for the monthly price, if it's really worth it. That being said, if you just do a lot of social networking and that's really all you need, then the phone's going to be great. But, you know, be warned that that's really all it's made for, and really what it does best. So there it is, guys, the Motorola Charm from T-Mobile. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. If you want more news, reviews, or videos, be sure and check out PhoneDog.com. You can follow me on Twitter. It's My Job to Know is my Twitter screen name. If you have any questions, just send me a message. Or you can also check out our Facebook page, facebook.com/PhoneDog. And also keep in mind, we're going to be having live chats every Friday on our Facebook page. So if you have any questions, or if you just want to come and chat, you can check out our Facebook page every Friday. We're going to be doing that. So anyway, plenty of ways to get more news and information on smartphones and any other messaging phone or gadgets, but it's on PhoneDog.com. So thanks so much, guys, for watching. I'm Sydney, and I'll see you guys later.